Right now, millions of people are falling behind. Not because they're lazy, not because they're unskilled, but because the system is moving faster than their paycheck. AI is supposed to be the great equalizer, but most people are using it to save a little time. The wealthy? They're using it to buy back their lives. They're not just automating tasks, they're automating income. And if you're struggling to figure out where you fit in this new economy, this video is for you. Over the past few months, we've received countless emails from this community, people with degrees, careers, and families, all asking the same question. Trip to wealth? What do I do when I'm doing everything right, but my income still isn't enough? There's the father in Ohio trying to figure out how to afford his daughter's first semester of college. The single mom in Atlanta whose rent just went up. Again. The IT worker in Texas who's been laid off twice in 18 months and is now doing freelance gigs at midnight just to stay afloat. And it's not just the US. This is global. Inflation is eating paychecks. Housing is unreachable. Food prices are breaking families. Everyone's doing more, but ending up with less. If that's you, if you're tired, if you're anxious, if you've worked hard your whole life and still feel like you're falling behind, then listen closely. Because there is a way to build something different, something smarter, something that doesn't collapse when the job market shifts or the cost of milk goes up again. And no, it's not a scammy side hustle. It's not crypto. It's not flipping courses or trying to get rich overnight. It's a 5-year plan that automates income like the wealthy do using AI, one that starts small but compounds. If you're here for real solutions, subscribe to the channel. We're not here to promise you shortcuts. We're here to help you build your way out, one leveraged system at a time. Let's kick things off with something that might sting a little, but it's the truth. In this new AI economy, being efficient is not the same as being free. Most people are using tools like ChatGPT to write faster emails, make better slides, organize their day. That's fine. But the reality is, you can't automate your way out of a broken income model. Year one isn't about moving faster. It's about moving smarter by building your first automated income system, even if it only makes $200 a month. That $200 means food on the table, a utility bill paid, or breathing room you didn't have before. Let me tell you about Amanda. She's a 39-year-old marketing consultant, married, 2 kids, and for years, she juggled contracts, deadlines, and calls. It was okay, until it wasn't. In 2022, 3 clients dropped her in 1 month. Her rent went up, her kids needed braces, and she was burning out trying to do it all. That's when she made a decision. She sat down and mapped out the 3 most common services she was delivering manually: content calendars, SEO audits, and email campaigns. Then she spent 2 weekends rebuilding them into simple automated systems. She used Notion AI, Zapier, Airtable, and a custom-trained GPT model based on her tone. Instead of doing the work over and over again, her system took in new leads, delivered personalized audits, and sent follow-up offers, all without her touching a keyboard. That first month, she made $380 in passive sales. Nothing flashy, but it was hers. And more importantly, it didn't depend on a client's mood or an algorithm update. It was a start. Year one is about that start. Not perfection, not scale. Just proof that you can build something once that keeps working while you sleep. The world won't give you peace. You'll have to design it, one system at a time. Now that you understand the surface game, let's move into year two and build your invisible back end. If year one is about building your first automated income stream, then year two is where you quietly disappear from the process. not by quitting, but by embedding yourself into something that runs without you. This is the part where most people mess up. They think, I made $500 with my AI funnel. Now I just need to make 10 more of those. But they're still stuck in a loop, doing outreach, fixing bugs, manually tracking payments. That's not a system. That's a smarter job. The wealthy think differently. They don't just build systems, they build systems that manage other systems. And that's what year 2 is about. Building your invisible back end, the automations, workflows, data layers, and logic that make your front end look effortless. Let me show you what this looks like. This is Eric, 42, former sales director in Michigan, got laid off in 2021, started a small B2B coaching business online to survive. It paid the bills, but just barely. Every day he was in his inbox, managing Zoom calls, doing follow-ups, chasing payments. His business was growing, but his time wasn't. In year 2, Eric changed the game. He rebuilt everything behind the scenes, used Make.com to create workflows that onboarded new clients, Stripe and Tally to process payments and intake forms, a Google Sheet plus OpenAI combo to draft performance reviews automatically based on client input, all tied into a single dashboard. By the time he was done, there were no more midnight emails, no more calendar chaos. He had created an engine that ran the business for him, all while he spent more time coaching, or better yet, resting. The result? Same income, half the hours, and zero client churn. Why? Because the experience he created, clean, fast, reliable, felt like a high-end concierge service, except it was software. This is what the wealthy understand. Success isn't about doing more. It's about becoming less necessary to your own system. And this year, your job is simple. Make yourself invisible to the process, but indispensable to the results. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more topics like this, comment the word AI so I know. All right, the next big shift is this: strategically acquiring or licensing micro assets that generate income quietly, consistently, and without your constant involvement. By year 3, something starts to shift in your body, not just your business. You begin to feel the quiet exhaustion of building alone. The 2 a.m. updates, the 9 tabs open, the mental fatigue of doing everything yourself, even when it's automated. And if you're not careful, you'll convince yourself that this is what freedom feels like. That burnout is just part of the climb. But that's not freedom. That's just a quieter kind of slavery. Year 3 is where the wealthy make a different move. They stop building everything themselves and start acquiring small pieces of leverage. Quiet assets, tools, templates, microservices, automations, anything that already works that just needs a new owner. Let me tell you about Carla. She's a 45-year-old UX designer from New Jersey. In year 1, she built a small GPT-powered wireframe generator that sold okay. In year 2, she layered back-end automation so clients could order and receive mock-ups without a single meeting. But in year 3, she stopped creating and started acquiring. She found a struggling UI kit business on Gumroad, bought it for $1,200, and restructured the funnel. She licensed a Figma AI plugin from a developer who didn't know how to market. And she bought a small list of product managers looking for design help. She didn't scale. She stacked. By the end of year 3, Carla wasn't just a builder. She was a platform. The systems she bought, licensed, or optimized made her $4,800 a month, and she hadn't created anything new in 6 months. This is what no one tells you. Building gets you started, but ownership gets you free. And in year 3, Your job is to stop thinking like a creator and start thinking like an investor with taste, not in stocks, but in digital leverage. Moving forward, let's build the stack. Others depend on. If year 3 was about ownership, year 4 is about gravity. Because once you own a few working parts, tools, automations, data, distribution, the next step isn't to build more. It's to integrate what you own into something others can't live without. Here's what the wealthy know. Real power isn't being the best. It's being the default. If people have to come through your gate to reach their goal, you don't have to chase income anymore. You just stand still and get paid. Let's talk about Alex, 38, former HR consultant turned system builder. After 3 years of building AI onboarding funnels and licensing tools to coaches, he saw a pattern. All of his clients needed the same things: training, email delivery, reporting, compliance. So in year 4, he stopped selling piecemeal services and built an all-in-one back-end for client onboarding. Not a flashy SaaS product, just a seamless, invisible stack made of tools he already owned. He didn't pitch it, he embedded it. Within months, 8 of his past clients migrated to the new stack, then more. And then a startup asked to license the whole system. Suddenly, Alex wasn't a freelancer. He was infrastructure. And when people use your system to build their own, they don't ask for discounts. They ask for terms. This is what wealth feels like, not noise, but pull, not chasing, just existing at the center of something people need. By year 4, you should no longer be building income streams. You should be building a dependency loop, a quiet empire of tools and flows that together make you a bottleneck in someone else's business. And that changes everything. Let's move on to year 5, the moment you step back and let the system do the heavy lifting. Congratulations, you made it. Most people never even begin. You didn't just learn skills, you built something. You reshaped your identity from someone who worked inside the machine to someone who designed the machine. This isn't the finish line, but it is a line. A line between your old life and the new one you architected with clarity, grit, and strategy. By year 5, you realize something that both shocks and humbles you. You were never meant to be the engine. You were always supposed to be the architect. All those years of building, automating, stacking, refining, they weren't about control. They were about escape. The kind of escape no job title, no salary, no resume will ever give you. Because when you reach this point, when your systems are running, your stack is quietly earning, and your name is barely on the dashboard, you feel it. Not ego, not victory, but something deeper. Relief. This is Eric's story. 47. He was a logistics manager for a decade, built systems on the side after hours, started with AI-powered inventory workflows, then fleet tracking tools, then dashboards for suppliers. For years, no one cared, but he kept going. By year 5, 5 small companies were running on his back-end stack. He hadn't taken a call in 9 months. His tools handled it. His systems build it. And Eric? He bought land upstate and took his first 2-week trip with his family in 12 years. That's not passive income, that's ownership in action. And here's the truth. You don't need to be a tech founder to do this. You don't need funding. You don't need 100K followers. You just need 5 years of consistency and the decision to stop trading your time for temporary wins. Year 5 is your exit, not from the economy, but from the chaos. It's where your income doesn't care if you're online, because the system you built finally runs without you. And it all started when you stopped automating tasks and started automating income. Now, let's talk about something most people forget. How to protect the system you've built with a dose of real financial literacy. Let's step back for a moment. If you've followed this roadmap, if you've actually done the work of building a system that runs without you, that earns while you sleep, that no longer depends on your daily hustle, then you've achieved something 99% of people will never experience. You've cracked the code of quiet wealth. You've stepped beyond hustle, beyond hype, into ownership. But here's the part no one talks about. Now that you've built it, don't lose it. We've seen it too many times. Not just in headlines, but in real life. Athletes, entertainers, founders, they push hard for years, they win big, and then, within months, it's gone. Why? Because no one ever handed them the second playbook, the one about defense. They were warriors in the build phase, but tourists in the wealth phase. And that's dangerous. You have to understand something. Wealth attracts weight. Suddenly, it's your cousin asking for a quick loan, your brother pitching a half-baked business idea, an old friend calling you selfish because you said not now. But here's the truth. You are not a bank. You are not a bailout plan, and you are definitely not a money tree. You built this system to reclaim your time, your sanity, your life, not to subsidize someone else's financial chaos. So, what do? You learn the real rules. You treat your wealth like a company. You pay yourself first every single time. You separate your earned income from your compounding assets. You measure your burn rate, not just your revenue. You build walls around your system. You install filters, not just funnels. And most importantly, you protect it like it's your family's future, because it is. Quiet wealth isn't just about building. It's about guarding what you've earned with clarity and conviction, because the system you've built, it's not just your freedom. It's your fortress. Now let's take a moment to zoom out and really reflect on what we've just unpacked. This wasn't just a video about AI. It wasn't just about passive income or financial hacks or automation tricks. It was about something deeper, reclaiming control over your life. 1 year, one system, one mental shift at a time. We opened with the uncomfortable truth that most people are using AI to do tasks faster, while the wealthy are using it to remove themselves entirely. Then we laid out the map. In year 1, we flipped the script. You didn't need to go viral. You needed to design one small, valuable system. Something simple, something quiet. In year 2, we went underground. You built the back end, automations, data, dashboards, the stuff no one sees, but everyone depends on. Year 3 was the moment you stopped being a builder and became an owner. You started stacking micro assets. You learned how to acquire tools that paid you while you slept. Year 4, you expanded. Quietly, strategically, your stack became infrastructure, the hidden engine behind someone else's business. And in year 5, you stepped back. Not because you gave up, but because your system didn't need you anymore. You stopped managing and started owning. But there's something we didn't say until now. Rockefeller didn't start with wealth. Neither did Carnegie, or today's silent billionaires building tools behind the scenes of billion-dollar tech companies. What they had wasn't access or luck. It was strategy, patience, and pain tolerance. They had nights they couldn't sleep, days they didn't know if it would work, but they didn't flinch. They saw through the noise and built anyway. And if you're watching this, you're probably in one of those nights. You've got bills, maybe kids, maybe debt. You're watching your paycheck shrink while prices go up. You're trying to stay composed while the world around you feels chaotic. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're tired of fighting the same battle every month. But here's the truth. You're not too late. You're right on time. The system may not have been built for you, but it can be rebuilt by you. And if you follow what we laid out today, with consistency, courage, and a 5-year lens, you won't go back to square one. Because this time, you're not just chasing income, you're building a legacy. You have the 5-year plan that automates income like the wealthy using AI. If this video stirred something in you, if you felt a shift, even a small one, then don't let it pass. Don't go back to scrolling. Don't go back to survival mode. Use this 5-year plan to automate your income and build wealth like the wealthy, one step at a time. And if you found value today, I highly recommend watching my next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to leave your comment below, especially if this video made you think differently. I appreciate your support more than you know. Until next time, stay consistent, stay patient, and stay winning. See you in the next one, Money Magician.